This is the Power Platform Daily Brief for Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. I'm Joel Lindstrom, and this is what you need to know about the Power Platform in 10 minutes or less. First story, earlier this week, Microsoft Forms Pro for Dynamics 365 became generally available. It's been in preview for a while, and it's based on Microsoft Forms, which has been out for quite a while. And what it adds to Microsoft Forms is it adds the ability to store the data in the Dynamics or in the Common Data Service. And by doing that, you can use it for surveys, and it is going to be replacing Voice of the Customer. They announced that Voice of the Customer would be deprecated and would probably go away in about a year. So if you use Voice of the Customer, you need to start looking at Forms Pro and planning to make the move to it. Some of my favorite parts about it is how extensible it is with Flow. If you need to act on the survey responses, you can go much further using Microsoft Flow to extend it. And the other thing I love about it is, unlike Microsoft Voice of the Customer, a survey response that you receive through Forms Pro can be linked to other entities than contacts, accounts, and leads. If you read CRM Tip of the Day, we've had several tips of the day, some elaborate kludgy workarounds to get around the limitation that Voice of the Customer survey responses could only be linked to contacts, accounts, and leads. Now we don't have to worry about that anymore because Voice of the Customer is going away, and Forms Pro gives us the ability to do that. Now there are some things such as dependent questions where it works a little bit differently, and there may be some limitations. The other thing I really love about it is how intuitive it is to make a form. Voice of the Customer is something that I've done quite a bit with. I've spoken at CRMUG about it. I was an early adopter of it, and it was great for its time and what it was trying to do. But there was just a frustration with working with the interface because there was a million fields to fill out on the main form, and then you had to go somewhere else to lay the form out. Now it's much more intuitive and usable. So go to formspro.microsoft.com, check it out. And Microsoft had quite the busy June with Power Apps, releasing a number of updates that we've discussed already on CRM Audio and the Power Platform Daily Briefs, such as general availability of embedded Canvas apps and the Outlook app in the Common Data Service, so you don't need a Dynamics license. But there's a couple of other things that we didn't really mention. One is they're releasing an improved data table control. Now, if you've built Canvas apps and tried to use the data table, you know it's pretty limited in what it can do in its current form. But they're increasing the usability of the data table control by letting us do calculations and formulas in the columns of the data table. This is great because sometimes you need something a little bit more data dense than a gallery, and instead of messing around with putting a bunch of fields on a gallery, you could just put a data table in there now and put your calculations and formulas in there. Now it's still a little bit more limited than a gallery in that they don't currently have the ability to select a record and do something with it. But if you're just showing a table of data in your app and you want to show a number of fields in a more data dense way, check out the experimental data table control, which you can turn on now as an experimental feature. And one really big feature, I know this is probably a big deal to George Dubinsky, the Northwind Traders Relational Data Sample for Power Apps is now available. I know this is something that we all remember back from our SQL Server days, and a lot of times Brad asked about Fabricam versus Contoso. I was always a little bit partial to Northwind Traders. They run a good business. So check out the Northwind Traders Relational Data Sample for Power Apps. And are you looking to learn something this summer? If you're in the U.S., this is a shorter week this week because we have Independence Day and there's other holidays going on around right now. So since some people are starting their summer vacations and holidays, this is a good time to maybe take some time and learn some new stuff. And one of the best places to learn is on Microsoft Learn. If you're not familiar with Microsoft Learn is Microsoft's new learning community that started maybe about 6 months ago. And they've been steadily adding more and more content to it. So if you go there, you can choose by either product or role and get a tailored course for either business applications, Azure, Power Platform, any number of different things. I just want to highlight a couple of the learning paths. There's one called Dynamics 365 and Power Platform Fundamentals. It's a 5-hour, 36-minute course that covers a broad overview of Power Platform, Dynamics 365, F&O, and Power Platform. So that's a good one to start with. And then there's some that go a little bit deeper. There's ones about customer service. There's ones about implementing the common data service. There's Power Platform, Dynamics 365 Marketing, we've mentioned before, but an ever-increasing supply. Initially, there was very few Dynamics or Power Platform courses. Now you could literally spend hours on the site, and if you want to learn universal resource scheduling, field service, a number of different topics, this is a great place to dig in. So take some time, and it will give you badges. So if you like getting badges, this is a good place to go, because the more time you spend watching and reading content, you'll get rewarded with badges, and it'll help you study for certification as well if you're looking to take one of the new certification exams for Dynamics 365. And speaking of learning stuff, one of the best ways to learn Power Apps is by looking at apps and flows that have been built by other people and learning how they did it, so then you can apply that to what you do. One of the best places to do that is over at those Dynamics guys, TDG, in the Power Platform Bank. This is something where it's a community site that members upload solutions. I put several solutions in there last month. But one of the things, if you've been trying to get the custom relationship assistant cards working and are a little bit frustrated, Antti Pajunen just uploaded his solution that he covered in his blog post about custom cards using PSA. So check that out. It has a great example of how to do a custom insight card and using PSA data. But if you look at that, you could get some good ideas on how to do that for other applications. So I guess the theme of today's Power Platform Daily Brief is go learn something. It'll be good for you. And then share what you learn with the community. Once you get comfortable, maybe put some of your own solutions out on the Power Platform Bank and teach others how to do amazing, cool things. This has been the Power Platform Daily Brief for Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. I'm Joel Lindstrom. Now you're up to date. Power on.